Bayesa.
With a bomb.
On the edge.
Literally.
Helps me get my groove on.
Listen up, ladies and gentlemen.
This is Boom Radio.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It is the Boom Bar right here on your Boom Radio NG. A bid you a warm welcome this very interesting afternoon. My name, Ola Dolupo.
My name is Sola Rogers. It's always a pleasure to be here. And we have about 50-something minutes of music, sports, politics, and everything in between. It's the Boom Bar.
Yeah, and you know, that really is a lot to talk about today. There's a lot to unpack. There's a lot of Nigerian stories. There's also a bit of stories outside Nigeria. There's a lot of sports stories. Hope to actually get through most of it, hopefully. Anyway, moving on, let's just go straight into it. As right now, where do we even start from? Okay, let's basically begin from the fact that the designer of Nigeria's flag, Taiwo Akinkunmi, is late.
Yeah.
And I think it's such a very monumental thing because as much as, okay, let me put it like this. Growing up, I felt that Nigeria's flag was very boring. I felt it was a very, just green, white, green. Like most people's flags have a little bit more, pizzazz. They have more colors. They have some design somewhere. But ours is just, straight lines. And but over time, and I will not lie, one incident over and over again that actually makes me very in love with the flag over time, like in the past couple of years, is the particular person that keeps changing the flag on Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. That flag is beautiful. And I feel that, of course, whether we think it's drab or whatever it is, or you think it's beautiful or anything, it has officially become our identity. It is something that and then you see a lot of variations of the green and white. You see it in football, how the national teams' designs of their jerseys have incorporated a green and white. And you're like extremely proud of the fact that it is green and white. So I think that this kind of person is someone that should not, we know that over time, it was just a couple of years ago that, there was the conversation of how this kind of people need to be celebrated. And yeah, I know that at some point he was given national honors. I remember I was watching sort of a documentary where someone was explaining where this kind of person lived. This was a while ago, that someone like our national heroes, we should do more for them and all that. And it makes sense. So now, of course, whether we like it or not, I think that this is his death or let me say his funeral will be a national event.
Well, let's hope it is. At least that's the least you can do.
It should be, yeah.
That's the least you can do for his memory, for who he is. And just before we went live a couple of minutes ago, stumbled on a tweet, and I read it out. Someone said, "Oh, that they don't know him," and I felt a lot of emotions. Like, you don't know him. Why don't you know him? Oh, could it be your fault that you don't know him, or could it be that you're not really interested in your history, or is it because they said they're not teaching history and current affairs anymore?
Maybe.
Then you really didn't search, or you're not that inspired back as a Nigerian to want to even know some of these things. So my mind went through a whole lot of stuff, thinking about it. But however, I don't know if in his latter years that, I don't know if the government reached out to him, apart from giving him an award of sorts, maybe like trying to make his life better. Because again, like you pointed out, there's this thing that I feel for the Nigerian flag. I actually like that flag a lot, and I have always liked it. And every time you watch a sporting event and you see people fly the flag, there's this emotion that is
there's this pride
that comes with
it. Yes,
with it. And I remember when they changed the name of Nigeria's men's football team, I didn't like the idea. They used to be called the Green Eagles. We know that eagles are not green, we get it, but they are green because of our flag. Then you now said Super Eagles. What does Super Eagles mean? Absolutely nothing, Maybe they should revert.
Oh, really? So you actually prefer Green Eagles?
Yes, they should revert to the green because of our green, white, green, So for me, Pa Akinkunmi was a hero, someone who, in his own way, has left his mark, in a country like Nigeria, in the sands of time. You cannot wish him away.
Yeah, you will always be there by the time
forget
you say
that it was the guy
who
that
designed the
because
Nigerian flag.
We used to fly the Union Jack, which is a flag that maybe Dolupo would have liked, since she likes the color splash and everything.
I'm just saying, it was growing up. It was very,
there's nothing wrong with what you're saying.
Take for example, how maybe I got more. What's it called with it was, like you were talking about someone that did not know. At least as far back as when I was in primary school, things like current affairs were compulsory. So we didn't have a choice but to learn a few of these things. The former Nigerian anthem, all those things, who composed it, how it became. I don't think those things are taught anymore, yeah? So in looking at those things, and you also obviously learn from other countries as well. And then I'm wondering, like, how is our own so drab? Most African countries have a splash of green, yellow, and red in some type of way.
Okay, so once again, for someone like you that likes the splash of colors, you would have loved the Union Jack, which is what you have confirmed to me again. And that's what...
Maybe not the Union Jack, but our own thing. But
that's what Nigeria had.
Color.
And for Nigeria to move away completely from all of that, I am so happy that, we came up with the green, white, green. There are one or two other countries that have the green and white, but nobody has the green, white, green the way we have it, and it's a unique thing. The other African countries that you had referenced, their flags are so similar that you find some of them have...
Most of them, just the arrangement.
They have the black star in the middle, some have it in the corner, somewhere, you saw all just funny and all. But hey, that's the identity too. I can't knock them for that. But Nigeria's green, white, green just stands out. And it's so sad that the man who's done it has left us. I'm happy because everybody will go at some point. But what is sad for me is that I'm not sure that it really got celebrated as much as it should have been celebrated. Yeah. There's a stanza in the Nigerian anthem that goes, "The labors of our heroes past shall never be in vain." And I don't know if Pa Akinkunmi would have gone to sleep thinking that his labors were in vain or not. So I don't know, Sha. Nigeria needs to institutionalize these things. Let there be some kind of a pronouncement, about how you celebrate your heroes, regardless of their age, their gender, creed. as long as someone qualifies to be referred to as an hero, there must be a way, to celebrate them.
Yeah.
And I am not sure, we have museums where I've not been to a museum in like 1,000,000 years in this country.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm hoping and praying, I think we have a comment. I'm hoping and praying that we can actually create one going forward that will, encapsulate this, and so that when you take the kids out, or you take young people out, or even us, the grown ones, we can learn a thing or two.
It's very interesting.
You understand that museums should not only be about artifacts alone.
How
Do you understand?
That growing up, going to the museum was a thing?
It was.
No. Wow. I don't know, Ja. I don't know, really. Anyway, we have a comment. Akinbitoye says, that is a video showing the similar flags of African countries. Yeah, that man is a legend. Even if it doesn't seem like a big deal, it didn't seem like a big deal back then. It's legendary. Another thing that I would have loved to know is how it came up with the flag. Was it that there were like a lot of people, they asked people to bring designs?
Yeah, I think there was some kind of competition or something, but he's explained it in a couple of interviews here and there.
Yeah, it said removing all the melodrama of our political space, Nigeria is unique. Oh yes, that you cannot
very
take away from.
That's why we're all here. That's why we're all rooting for her and hoping and praying that she actually finds her feet, because she's still wobbling and she's still fumbling, but she has to stand. Nigeria will stand.
Okay, moving on from that. Now, just yesterday evening there was which seems to be President Tinubu's way of announcing stuff. When all of you are close to going to bed, that's when news drops. And the news is that he had appointed a new board and management team for the NDDC. That's the Niger-Delta Development Commission.
Can I obstruct you for a second or two?
Yeah.
You said that he likes taking decisions at night.
No, he likes announcing stuff at night.
Yes, at night, yeah. Taking decisions or announcing it's at night. And they call him Bat. And the bat is a nocturnal bird.
Okay.
So
that probably explains a few things.
So it's about time our friends in the media, all media people, if you don't do 24 hours, you need to start detailing that one or two people to stay back in the office, because something will happen at night.
Most of the time. Anyway, now he has approved the appointment of a new board and management team for the Niger-Delta Development Commission. Now, first things first, this list is very interesting because other than the fact that there's a chairman, there's the MD, there is the executive directors. Now we have state representatives and
that's standard
from the Niger Delta, and we have zonal representatives from the north. And it's interesting why though? Because why not? Are they saying that they're merging everybody together now?
Well, to be honest, I know that these decisions are taken with some grand design in mind, you get. But until that is announced, we can only analyze based on the little information that we have. We know that the Niger Delta Development Commission was a child of necessity, created to help the rapid development of the Niger Delta, where Nigeria got the bulk of our wealth from drilling oil and now gas.
Says, SR, I see what you did there.
You get, So, if that is the case, you wonder why there are representatives from the north in the Niger Delta Development Commission. Now, there's been a lot of clamoring for such commissions to be replicated in different regions of Nigeria.
Yeah.
For instance, the Northeast.
I think there's a Northeast Development Commission now.
And, they got it, and there's this and that people are talking about. So it could be as a result of that they are here now. Or
to incorporate them. We know there are a few states that's in the north.
understudy and also take some of the knowledge from there back to their regions, or are they going to maybe merge all these development commissions, so they're under one umbrella, and they're able to help with development. However, we cannot stop saying this. We need to reiterate it, that this Niger-Delta Development Commission, if you score them on a scale of 1 to 10, if you score them 10, I will tell you that they have still underperformed. I'm saying if anybody out there scores them 10, a 10.
I don't think you should score them more than 2.
If you score them a 2,
because they just exist.
They still don't deserve it. Because if you look at the volume of funds that has been pumped into this commission year in, year out, government after government, PDP, APC, pumping billions into this commission, and you look at what they have achieved, it is not commensurate.
I even have to ask, though, President Tinubu, what is happening with the forensic audit?
By now, the results should be out, and Nigerians really need to know.
It was already out
what
when
has transpired.
President Buhari was there. And we saw how somebody was falling sick and he was fainting and he was opening his eyes and all that drama. What came off that drama? I remember also that the chief of staff, the president now, was the Speaker of the House.
Exactly.
He was the chairman of that sitting then. What's supposed to happen to that forensic audit?
There's an important thing that government needs to get straight. You can't keep saying that someone has done something wrong, then you remove the person, or you change the place or restructure the place without punishing the people who have done wrong.
What's the deterrent for the people that are coming in? It doesn't. It doesn't.
Look at all the theatrics of this other guy that time that was, like you said, was fainting in the probe room when he was being questioned.
And we saw his eyes going up and down, and he was fainting.
It came with a plan. Remember the other... there was another guy that was being probed from the north, one politician like that was, he was actually carried into the court in a wheelchair. He had a mask on, but I don't know if he knew that he was being recorded by the time he got back to his abode or whatever.
And then he got down and
just,
it was fine.
It was miraculous.
See, it's a thing.
And the guy is still out there. It's free.
Let's call it spade a spade.
It's free.
It is a thing. Once they suddenly, remember, even most recently, the suspended CBN governor is suddenly ill now. They always fall ill. They don't fall ill until they're caught doing their silly acts. My own is that we can't continue like this. Now, remember that there was also a lot of clamor about the last management of the NDDC. Those ones spent just a few months. It was just before former President Buhari had left. The person of, I think the chairman was Loretta Onoche and all that. And did they really do anything? My question, because for a region that gets so much money and for a commission that gets pumped with so much money, no matter the few months that you're there, shouldn't there be some level of probing? Why also is that if we also go back to the FCT minister now, the former Rivers State governor, and how much of work he did, and he had to come out to say that it was a lot of the monies that was gotten from the president. That was the former president. And up until now, nobody is having a conversation about what happened to those monies in other states.
That's the bane of our country. That's the problem that we face. These are the issues, and that's why we continue to harp on them and bring it to the front burner. The front burner is where things get cooked faster. Have you not noticed? The front burner is bigger than the back burners. So we're bringing it to the front burner all the time. Once we put it on the front burner, someone just moves the pot to the back again to reduce the cooking. But we can't stop cooking this because we really want this country to move forward. How is it that all of this has happened and there is no clear-cut information being given now?
Okay, Akibitoye says, Dolupo, did Lampard do anything at the tail end of last season? Now, Cruz Joe, with the respect to the Onoche and Co.
Yeah. Then again, if you look at it, regardless of how you view it, the NDDC is too important for you to allow someone else determine how it's going to function under your government. There are some appointments that should have been deferred or left, especially those last-minute appointments that you see governors and presidents make. Except the Constitution insists that there shouldn't be a lacuna. There are some things that you just leave to the incoming to say, you know what, let this person handle it. Because that's what has happened now. Miss Onoche, I'm not sure she spent 6 months.
Yeah, there was
at the
really
helm
no
of
need
affairs.
to have
So
put her there.
They shouldn't have, you know. And I think that maybe the new president is like, okay, you know what, this commission, I want it to work a certain way. Because if you look at the composition alone, the new head of the commission is actually a PDP person. I've not heard him openly declare for the APC, right?
Even though there were talks of him being...
anti-party and all that, but did he come out to say he's an APC member? Do you understand? There's another member of this NDDC, the representative for Ondo State, who is also a PDP person too. So you start to look like, okay, what's exactly
the game plan here
going on here? But I always say that a good coach, if you're a good coach and you're picking a team, you pick the best.
But the truth is that, you know,
regardless of their...
He's the president of Nigeria, not of APC. So if we look at it from that angle, he probably should... it shouldn't really be about party at the end of the day. Now, he said that... Akinkunmi says, do you remember the Ogoni cleanup flagged off by PYO? Well, again, Sha, NDDC encompasses a region. So far, zilch. They can do better, I beg. Yes, I
most
think
definitely. It's disappointing. It's disappointing when you look at the amount of money that's been pumped into the NDDC. And you know what shocks me is how Niger-Delta people are cool about it.
My issue with it is that
it's shocking.
Under the constitution that they have to be Niger-Delta people that have to head the place, and it's sad because you know it's funny how we get to a point where.
Dolupo is looking for trouble.
No. What I'm saying is that it's not making any sense. If year in, year out, the same set of people who are supposed to understand your plight the most, and it's funny because you see people from the Niger Delta complain about things in Nigeria. And I'm wondering, like, the one that is right in front of your nose, nobody's saying anything about it. I'm sorry, maybe it's the way I see this thing. The Niger Delta as of today should be something close to, if not better than Dubai.
I agree.
It should be places, it should be somewhere that even the rest of us in the country should probably be getting visa to go to.
Exactly. You know,
but it's one of the most underdeveloped parts of the country.
Of the world.
It's sad. It doesn't
compared to the wealth.
It does not even make
from there.
Any sense. No sense at all. The governors, the what's it called? The NDDC itself. Everybody is just so. And you hear the amount of money that these people get month per month. Oh man, I don't get it. And you wonder how. And it made it worse because when we see some states, especially the north. In the last dispensation, maybe from 2019, especially from 2019 to 2023, how we saw a lot of states that were even plagued with a lot of things, with insecurity and all that, do a lot better, do a lot more infrastructure. They affected people's lives in a better way more than places that do not even have half of these issues. And then you wonder, like, what exactly is happening? What are you people doing?
Well, these are the issues, and that's why we are discussing them. And the Niger Delta definitely deserves better. Now, you raised something before we move away from the Niger Delta issue, that the person that's going to run the Niger Delta Commission be from the Niger Delta. I say yes. Are we saying that so far so good, these are the best that region has? No, I disagree. So again, it comes to management. And the buck still stops at the table of Mr. President.
Sorry.
Oh.
Akinkunmi has a few comments. Akin is really angry about this matter.
Yeah,
he
it
says,
should
we don't
be.
have a culture of accountability. Just chop, I chop gang. We can't make anything happen. Save for the mismanagers building a couple of hotels and petrol stations. Nothing long term. Chai. My final salvo on this matter, let's go back to the beginning. What birthed NDDC? Was it not a product of the MEND agitation?
Exactly.
So if there was an agitation then, where is that agitation anymore now?
No more agitation. Please don't even.
I'm just
We're-
saying.
We're just saying that rather than them agitate the way they were then, they should be involved in the way this commission is being run. There are times when you see that someone has been removed for alleged, because they say we should say alleged corruption.
So in the real sense of it, even the
You-
agitation,
you
what
still
was
see-
really the plan of the agitation?
You still see people who would come and protest. People from the to say, no, he's our son, leave him alone. Ow!
So that's my question. Even the agitation, even the so-called agitations then, isn't he even looking like there was more to it? It wasn't really just an agitation.
Those agitations were required, though. But let's just hope that these ones would be different from the ones that have come in the past.
Amen. Amen.
Fingers
crossed. Amen. Amen and amen. Anyway, moving on from that, still talking about oil and all that, the Navy, before we get to that, the Nigerian Navy have now announced the arrest of 5 stowaways
Yeah.
near the Lagos Anchorage.
Once again, it's the same story over and over
Maybe
again.
because they've seen the news and saw that some people
Made it to Brazil.
You also know that those people are most likely going to be deported, right?
I think 2 of them already asked to be taken back to Nigeria, and the other 2 are asking to stay back there. There were 4 of them that were rescued, kind of.
So the 5 stowaways identified as Effiong Okong.
Okon.
Sorry. Effiong Okon, Ayewuni Daniel, Ajagboma Asiko, Adebanjo Ayewumi. Okay.
The Ayewumi brothers. and Christian Joseph.
There's a 44-year-old in this matter.
Yeah.
Okay. The arrest took place at the vicinity of the Lagos Anchorage where they were attempting to exit the country via the vessel. I think that as much as a lot of people, or we've seen a few people get to the other end of it. Mm-hmm. Okay, sorry. Akin says you can't agitate with a full tummy now. You have tummy ache. So
I know what you mean.
Okay.
I know what you mean.
Anyway, I think that as few of them as that we've seen that have actually crossed and have survived, there are a whole lot more people that have died.
There's something that you don't get to hear about, but I'm going to talk about it. It is alleged.
Oh my God.
It is alleged that when the owners of these ships find stowaways on board, they throw them overboard. It is alleged. They don't even want to have any discussions with you because usually they have, like their supply for food and everything is rationed, is planned. Everything is just structured and planned. And so if you stow away on a ship, you are going to disrupt their plans.
Whether we like it or not, there's the stories that we hear a lot of boats capsizing, of illegal immigrants and all that. It's almost every week you hear one story or another. It's more of there are more people that actually die on these trips than survive. So
again, remember we talked about this extensively, I think it was yesterday or the day before, to stem the tide of rural-urban migration or the tide of illegal immigration. We need to be serious about development, infrastructural and all forms of development. You're supposed to take development to the people, take it to the villages. I repeat again, if people in as far-flung places in Nigeria, I don't want to mention villages or anywhere, get the same kind of facilities that you get in the city or in the towns, they would not leave. A lot of them will stay back. You know, if they have access to good water, they have access to electricity. Well, the city doesn't have some of those things too.
So let's think about
Good roads. Well, the city doesn't have some of those
some
things
of those
too.
cities don't
Access
have
to health, you know, good hospitals. Well, the city doesn't
Well,
have some of those things too.
well.
At the end of the day, the city also needs to be developed, you know. But again, it's also about aspirations. It's also about thinking that the grass is greener on the other side. So the people from the
If you
village,
look at it from the angle of maybe like business, it probably
you will
is
thrive. You will thrive.
better.
So the people from the village, they see that, oh man, if you get to the city, you're going to make it. The people in the city are saying, oh man, if you get across the ocean, you will make it. And all of these things are happening. So if the foreign the foreign countries that they are targeting are serious, they need to move in to Africa and aid the development to stem the tide. That's the only way that you can reduce it. You cannot stop immigration because it's as old as time itself.
Okay. Well, let's move on from that and let's go back to the issue of oil. Remember that we're talking about that before this matter. And one of the very interesting conversations is that the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation Company Limited, NNPCL, has said that they recorded 164 crude oil theft incidents. Now, the number is not the problem. It's the timeline that is the issue. That is very concerning. This is between August 19th to August 25th.
Well,
in 6 days.
The two things that you mentioned are the issues.
No. See, if you say
don't worry.
164 in 10 years,
Dolupo.
it might not be a good thing, but it's not as bad. It is
bad.
scary
it is
that
bad.
it is in 5 days. Now, breaking it down, they said that there were a total of 41 instances of illegal connections, 49 cases of unauthorized refineries, 18 incidents of pipeline vandalism, 37 occurrences of wooden boats being employed for transporting stolen crude, 12 violation of vessels AIS protocols, 4 vehicle-related apprehensions, and 3 identification of three oil spills in Delta, Bayelsa, Rivers, and Ondo State in 6 days.
Exactly.
6
Again,
days.
so 160 something incidents, 164 incidents of fuel theft in 6 days is humongous. Now, it shows you what's been going on through the years. It shows you that some people have just been feeding fat off, our Commonwealth, and they are probably having it tough now. I think they are, because this news has never been this rampant. I know that there's always talk of how people got pipeline monitoring contracts and all. We hear all of those things. But the amount of results that we're seeing in the last 3 to 6 months, let's say, this year, since the beginning of this year, has been scary.
It has.
Now, for
I think it always just happened. They just stared.
No, they were not this serious about busting them before.
That's what I'm saying. I think that these incidents were always there. It just never got.
That's my point. That's the point I'm trying to make. That so you can imagine what has been what has been going on, what has transpired in the last couple of years. Unchecked. And that's where I was going with the analogy I was about to make. That as a layman, when you get to the filling station, you want to buy fuel. If they tell you to park here, you will park there. If they tell you move forward, you will move forward. Because you know why? You don't know what they're doing. You just know that they want to help you dispense PMS or DPK, AGO, or whatever. Now, why are there some rules at filling stations? Oh, don't smoke. Don't use your mobile phone and all of that. It's because of safety standards and all, yeah? So because of all of these things, that field is very specialized. Now, a person that does not know anything about crude, pipelines, refining, and all of those allied issues that has been raised in this report would not even try it. They won't. So, the thieves
are the people that really
allegedly are the same people who are allegedly working in the oil and gas industry, allegedly. That's the
Are you
point.
done with your allegations?
It's a sad one, and it shows you how much we have lost
it is
as a
sad
country.
one. Also, still talking about that, the Navy have now, the Joint Task Force of Operation Delta Safe, have now arrested a crude oil vessel, another one, MV Ofoma, and its members for allegedly conveying illegally refined petroleum products. This was also, I think, in Port Harcourt.
Has it been destroyed?
Anyway, an arrest has been made.
So it will soon be destroyed by the Air Force. I like the way they always zoom in and they allegedly drop
It's
those.
the Navy that's arresting them. Then the Air Force,
They just bush, 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 and drop some akara and some shawarma.
I think part of me actually feels that isn't it like more like destroying those things, and you know the amount of fire those things are going to cause, and it's on the sea and all that. Aren't there better ways to dispose of these things? Maybe extract.
I think that they tend to extract those things before they are destroyed. Because I've not seen. We watched the videos. I've not seen any spillage or spills in the water, right? So I think that they actually do extract it. But if I am assuming something right for them, let them learn and do it the right way. But people who say that they shouldn't destroy those vessels, you don't understand what's going on. You don't understand. One of the vessels that was destroyed had been arrested before. Then it disappeared and reappeared under a different management and a different name. We can't continue to have this. If you do this, it will serve as a deterrent. And it shows that we're actually serious about nipping this crude oil theft in the bud. Nigeria is losing too much.
Okay, now still talking about the Niger Delta. The Akwa Ibom state government has now shut down operations at a Chinese mining factory in the state. According to the story, the Commissioner for Environment and Mineral Resources and the Commissioner of Ministry of Internal Security embarked on an unscheduled inspection of the company, only for them to find out that they do not even have proper documentation. They said the team discovered black clay minerals contained in sack bags of 50 kg, described by the miners as titanium ore. The company is supposed to be purely an exploration company.
But they're already mining your resources.
Exactly.
Again, it shows the porosity of our system, our borders, our monitoring, and all that. How does a big ship come into Nigeria to come and steal crude and it's undetected? How do people come in to come and, infiltrate and kidnap and do all of those things from across the borders? Because our borders are porous. Our seaways,
it's sad. In fact,
our waterways are porous. And now they're building illegal refineries.
It even makes it worse because now they're saying that this particular company cannot even get a mining license in Nigeria. Why? It said that when they checked, the board of directors comprises of only Chinese people.
Yeah.
Which is against the law in Nigeria. You cannot have a Nigerian company and have a license.
Do you know that allegedly there are more of these companies spread across Nigeria in different parts of Nigeria?
Oh yeah, that's.
There are stories of some of them in parts of the southwest, the northwest, and north central. I don't know about the northeast. And this is what we are saying. Government has been sleeping. You're sleeping. You better wake up. Because by the time you're ready to mine these resources, they'll be gone.
Anyway, moving on from that quickly, it's a very, very sad one. But I think this, I don't know if I would call this good news as the Nigeria Communications Commission. I think we had talked about this a few weeks ago where they were talking about opening emergency communication centers around the country. And they're now saying that about 4 of these emergency communication centers are already currently undergoing test runs. And there's now going to be about 31 across the country. And those will come on stream very soon. They're saying that a total of 27 state capitals across the country are reachable on toll-free number 112.
It's
I think these things need a lot more.
It's a sad situation, while it's also a good one. Sad in the sense that, as at the time a state like Lagos created its own emergency response system and created a toll-free number and all of that, a short code that you could call, I think 727 or something. Nigeria did not have it as a country.
Yeah.
This is how sad it is. And these numbers are so important because, one, they are easy to remember, and 2, you can help them with information. You can quickly get them to dispatch the first responders. There's a whole lot of advantage that comes with having this emergency, call centers and all. Then another multiplying effect is that it's more jobs for Nigerians.
For Nigerians, yeah.
And at the end of the day, we just.
But my question is that
never
how
got
much
around
of
to it.
that works? Now they're talking about how there's going to be about a total of 31 with the addition of this 4. So what they're saying is that about 27 are already functioning. How many people even know they exist?
Well, that's the thing, and I think the immediate past president actually achieved this under his own tenure. It is sad that they failed in the area of creating awareness, or shall I say adequate awareness, about the existence of a toll-free line, an emergency number that Nigerians can call in times of distress and all of that. And this is where we always say that the media also is failing to a large extent, but the bulk of the blame is on the government that has kind of hoarded information or withheld information for God knows what reason.
Okay, and moving on for good news for the people of Lagos State. On Monday, September 4th, the Lagos Blue Line Rail will start operations in full, according to the government, to the state government. The governor will be the first passenger on this line with a few people on Monday. Now, she said that from Tuesday, partial passenger operations will start from 6:30 a.m. to 10 a.m. for the morning peak, and afternoon from 4 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. They said these operations will start with 12 trips for 2 weeks, which will later be increased up to 76 trips per day. Now, this blue line is not complete, but the first phase of this blue line that is starting next week, Monday, is moving from Marina to Mile 2 and back.
Yeah, this is a welcome development. It's something that everybody has clamored for and prayed for and begged for. And, of course, they failed with their target of kicking off in August by 4 days. So, knocks for them for that. And a big thanks to them for at least finally seeing it to fruition. And I like the systemic way they are going about it. Like, let's scale. They're trying to scale.
I think that
and I like
if
that.
we really look at it, 76 trips in one day will do a lot.
It will.
It will do a lot. You might think, okay, for someone like me, I probably would not get on that train. Except because when you're thinking about it, what am I going to do 100 Mile 2? Anyway, never
can tell.
But the truth is that there are a large chunk of people that live in those places. It is literally a lot of movement, especially when it goes to Marina. Marina is a huge hub, business hub. So moving a lot of people from one end to another, and then in the evenings back again, I think is really huge.
Yeah, it is. It is a massive thing. Again, especially with the recent removal of fuel subsidies, it will afford people a chance to, go from point A to point B by spending less,
Exactly.
and in a nice, clean atmosphere.
Comfortable atmosphere. Now, I'm still talking about movement of people. Now, bicycle dealers in Bauchi State are said to be making brisk business as there's an increase in patronage in bicycles. Because of the increase in pump price of petrol, a lot of people have moved transportation to bicycle.
This is a welcome development. Riding the bicycle is also very healthy. It's a healthy lifestyle that you have adopted, and you're also saving money on the long run. And this is what we hoped would happen. And Nigerians are being real with themselves now. Sure you get. So it would be nice, again, because it's also good for the environment. There are less, carbon emissions bicycles don't emit anything at all, except when the rider wants to. Excuse me.
What are you doing?
If the person that is riding is emitting carbon. So
I have no words.
The chances of
I have no words
of pollution by riding a bicycle is 99.9% impossible. The 0.1 of the 99.9 is with the rider.
How do you think of these things? Anyway, moving on from that quickly. Let's do a little bit of politics. Let's go through it quickly.
All this one that we are doing before, was it?
No, let's just do a little bit of politics. The stories yesterday that there was news about how the APC and the PDP released list of the campaign management for the Bayelsa, Imo, and Kogi elections that are happening in November.
Forthcoming elections.
One thing that got a lot of people talking is how the FCT minister, who last we checked is still a PDP member, even though he's fighting with the PDP.
Confirmed.
Is on the list of this campaign for the PDP.
For both parties.
And the APC. Now, the APC has come out to say that they did not release any list and they don't know.
I have a comment that can settle this. God bless PD APC.
What are you doing?
PD APC. Is it not the same party? Did hear one top contender during the election? God bless PD APC. It's obvious that these parties are intertwined and they are co-joint twins.
Well, APC is now saying that they don't know anything about it. But, okay, he's a minister under the APC government, so...
If they say they don't know anything about it, it might be true. But, again, there's no smoke without a fire, Maybe somebody have lighted something that is emanating blue smoke somewhere.
Let's be honest. It doesn't even make any sense.
But, on a serious tip, I want to ask the people who have already carried these stories, who released the press release to you, what was the source of your story? Yeah? You guys be chilling out. Like, man, take it easy, you understand? But if it's not that angusha, PDAPC is real. Because it also shows that if it's true that maybe they wanted to do it and someone leaked it out, it also shows you that Nyesom Wike is as powerful as they can be when it comes to politics, because there are people who haven't done half of what he has done in the PDP when it came to keeping them up. But there are also people who have not crossed party lines like him, and they were kicked out of the party or suspended. Nnamani is one of them and all of that, and they were all suspended. But now the man has even gone ahead to take an appointment with the APC. Now, there are weekly meetings that are held by the president, the vice president, and the ministers. Abi?
Yeah.
And he will be there. Abi?
Yeah.
You understand what I'm trying to say now?
Anyway, I don't know what you're trying to say. Let's move on quickly.
You'll be having meeting and opposition is in the meeting.
Let's move on quickly.
Moving on.
We are going all the way to Gabon.
Yeah.
Where looks like, sadly, it's coup season.
It's a terrible thing that we're in, but it's also funny that you might feel a certain kind of way about this Gabon situation.
That's what I was going to say. That for Gabon is it's a very peculiar situation when it comes to Gabon. So now, the current president that was ousted has been president for about 14 years. he just won his last election for a third term. I think each tenure is about 7 years. His father was president for about 41 years.
Yeah, he became president in the 60s. I think 1967 or
And
so.
the
Something
main
like that.
issue that these coup leaders are talking about is that they're ending the regime.
Yeah.
They're ending this dynasty of some sort.
So
And the truth is, can you really blame them?
So Gabon is an oil-rich nation, got independence same time as Nigeria,
Yeah.
1960.
A few months before Nigeria.
They don't even have the issues that we have when it comes to population, you know, and you wonder why they're still backward. Of course, there was a coup, I think that was in 63 or so. Then Bongo appeared, Albert Bongo. A few years down the line, he became a Muslim, changed his name to Omar Bongo. Then he was still the president doing all sorts of things. And when he died, his son became president. Now,
As in, come on. After 41 years. Are you joking?
another coup had happened a few years after that time. But France actually went in physically with their military to reinstate the government. The same France is now accusing them of corruption. In fact, about 7 or 8 of the Bongos are facing corruption charges. You get. Even before this coup, it was 2 days ago that I was reading.
Even if you're not, what's it called? Except there's something else to it. Why are you the only ones in the whole country?
I was reading something about how, you know, the amount of real estate and expensive cars that they had, you know, packed in France. That's the bulk of the wealth that they've stolen is there in France. So this family has more or less wrecked the country. Now, I do not subscribe to military coups because it's a bad sign and a bad omen.
I don't think that
it's a government that answers to no one. But there have been several agitations in Gabon. There have been several agitations. You know that there was a time in Gabon that it was a one-party state?
Yes.
One-party state, nobody can contest, nobody can come out and everything.
It was sad that even with the ones before this one, there's been a lot of agitations against this person. So I feel that, I know that maybe the AU and UN, everybody's going to come, but I think that this needs a little bit of...
And Bongo himself...
It's different. This is just a very different situation.
He was actually ill a couple of years ago. Allegedly, he had suffered a stroke and all of that. And he still wants to be in power. You know? Then they always adjust the constitution to suit them.
To suit themselves,
and
yes. I think that is...
Yes, we do not want military rule, but no to dictatorship in the form of civilian rule.
Yeah. See, I think that whether we like it or not, I think that one of the things that maybe has helped a country like Nigeria for a bit, and maybe a few countries like Ghana, is the fact that since, at least for Nigeria, since 1999, there has been a level of sticking to the constitution about the number of years. I remember there were talks of President Olusegun Obasanjo then. There was allegations here and there of him wanting a third term and all that. I feel that if those things had gone through, he probably might, if it was really in the works, probably would be still be president. And the truth about those things...
If you can do 3 terms, why not do 4 or 5?
The truth about those things is that because you are already not following the rule of law, by the time maybe a coup comes in, there's no justification for you as well.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense. I think that, I hope that there is a form of quick transition from this issue, and
he has not given up yet. He's calling on his friends to come through.
I personally feel that
thank
there
God,
should
thank
not
God
be.
this was no concern. Akwa.
President Tinubu has condemned. Yeah, it's okay to condemn the fact that there is a coup, But the truth is that I feel that if these coup leaders really mean what they mean, it's nothing wrong in actually going back, doing a proper election, maybe insisting that, yes, this family should not be part of it anymore and all that. But sticking to the fact that this coup is, I hope that it doesn't go so far.
Speaking about coups, we've been following up on the Niger coup. The junta is asking for 3 years, but Algeria has proposed
that it should be a 6 month.
6 month transition.
I think 6 months
period,
is not a bad idea. 3 years, I think, is ridiculous.
And the gray areas, the final details have not really been put out there. I haven't read them, to be honest. But these are the issues here. That if you are organizing a coup and it's really about the people and righting wrongs, you will not be asking for 3 years.
Exactly.
So let's see how Gabon is going to pan out also, and see if maybe France is going to do what they did a couple of years ago by moving in with their military to reinstate the presidents.
Okay, now let's move on from that. A bit of sports. As yesterday was the Professional Football Association award ceremony in the United Kingdom. A very interesting one is the fact that Davido was the first African to actually grace the stage and entertain people on that stage. It was very, 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 it's a nice feat, where it came to the part where Nigerian musicians are the ones that, that everybody wants to listen to now. And the few awards that were won on that yesterday were the Players Player of the Year is Erling Haaland. I think it was you can't, there are times that you dispute something. The Young Player of the Year for male is Bukayo Saka. Players Player of the Year female, Rachel Daly. The Young Player of the Year female, Laura James. Merit Award, the PFA Merit Award, Ian Wright. And the PFA Team of the Year, Aaron Ramsdale, John Stones, Ruben Diaz, William Saliba, Kieran Trippier, Kevin De Bruyne, Rodri, Martin Odegaard, Bukayo Saka, Harry Kane, and Erling Haaland. And we see a lot of domination from Manchester City and Arsenal in this. It's kind of, with the kind of season that we saw last, it's the kind of things that I don't think you can dispute.
Yeah.
And finally, the NFF seems to have issues with the coaches of the Super Eagles and the Super Falcons. First things first, I know that SR is not a huge fan of both coaches.
I'm not.
And now the Super Falcons coach has officially left. There's also talks about the Super Eagles coach giving a 3-day ultimatum to accept a pay cut or exit to get the job done.
Well, both coaches have their contracts up for renewal. Of course, Waldron knew he wasn't going to get a renewal because, especially with the way the relationship had gone with the Football Association leading up to the World Cup. But he doesn't need them anymore. He has achieved what he wanted to achieve. He's taken the team to the world stage, and they've done not too badly, based on the situations. So he can add that to his CV now and even get better jobs.
Yeah.
So he doesn't need Nigeria anymore. In the
He
case
needed
of
the platform and it worked.
In the case of Peseiro is still not the answer that Nigeria needs. In the 2 years that he has been here, what are his achievements? What has he done?
At least you say Waldron did something. There was an achievement.
And if you're going to now talk about it, you will say for continuity of what exactly?
They are going into a game that whether they win or lose, they've already qualified.
It's a dead rubber game. It's a dead rubber game. They don't need this game anymore. Anybody can coach them. Let them even lose if they want to lose.
They don't even need a coach. They probably might go there without a coach.
Them boys can even coach themselves.
The last time they played with these people, it was 10-0.
So to be honest, it's time for the NFF to look inwards for the women's game. And for the men's game, if you are going to bring a foreign coach, please let it be a standard coach, not someone who's going to struggle. Because Mr. Peseiro has not added any value to the Super Eagles in 2 years.
Okay. On that note, that is all be able to take on the bomba. Mic drop. See you And we'll be back again tomorrow at 3 p.m. West African time to give you another wonderful edition of The Bar. Peace.